Hey guys, Marsegan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so earlier today on Global Twitter, the official account posted about the apparently ranking the most popular team formations among users. These are the official rankings of the teams with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Hirudegarn featured in the ongoing Dual Dokkan Festival. Let us know your ideal team in the comments. And apparently, so this is information, I don't know how they've drawn this. I guess it's just from like the records thing that's in the game. And they've collated this data into like the most popular builds of the team. But I mean, you saw the thumbnail, right? I have some questions about the legitimacy of these team builds, right? So I thought it'd be fun for this video to jump into a couple of the events. We'll try out Omega or Zamasu, see how they go with the #1 most popular team formations. Because, I mean, on Global, what other events do we have to play? So, like, some of these teams, you look at them and you think, who is using these units in some of these events that are out at the moment, right? Like Zamasu with the AoEs shuts down a lot of these units. One of my favorite ones is that the #3 most popular team for the Super Saiyan 3 Goku team has AGL Tapion in it. AGL and Tech Tapion. Also, who is using LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku on their Super Saiyan 3 Goku team with another Super Saiyan 3 Goku, so none of them can link together? And he doesn't have his EZA yet. Like, his EZA is not out on Global, which I feel like they forgot when they made this image, because I do not believe this whatsoever. And Tapion on Minosha. The whole team is basically half Super Saiyan 3 Gokus, and then 2 Tapions and LR Tapion and Minosha. Like, nobody is running this team. I refuse to believe this, right? And then we've got the team in second place and the team in first place. They at least have solid units on them. The second place team against Fusion Zamasu could certainly be a bit of a worry with Birdku, the way he needs to build up. And then, of course, both the Year 5 Fusions not being good against the Term 1 AoEs. But, I mean, in a longer event or an event that doesn't have AoEs, like this team would be particularly, would be quite good. And then, of course, the #1 team, which is the one we are going to try out here. Very interesting. You don't really see, or at least I don't, I've never done it myself. I've not seen people really ever talk about it in my comments or in the streams. You don't really see people throwing Fusion Zamasu onto a team full of superclass units. So that's certainly going to be very, very interesting. And then when we look at the extreme teams, I mean, I love LR Cooler. I've talked about it before. Like, he was my favorite unit in the game when he came out for that Golden Week, but he is not really very usable now in difficult content. Tech Janemba and LR Janemba are interesting additions, but as many people have pointed out in the comments, it's so funny how villain teams are so badly in the dirt. Like, you look at those 3 teams and they're all the same team except for one unit is changed, right? The first place team and the second place team are exactly the same, except we have physical LR Metal Cooler instead of STR Transforming Cooler. But then the bottom team has both of them, but has just taken off Tech Janemba. So they're basically the same team, but with one unit switched around between the 3, which is hilarious. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. We'll start off with the Superclass team, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so here we go. This is the apparently the #1 ranked team for global players with the STR Super Saiyan 3 Goku team. So we're going to go ahead and jump in here against the Omega event and see how we get on. So, I mean, the thing is, looking at the team build, it's not the most terrible team in the world, right? It has a lot of decent, like, strong units on it. Definitely a strange choice. Like I say, throwing in the Zamasu on the team, I think is one that I think takes a lot of people by surprise. I don't think I would be throwing Zamasu randomly onto this team. I get why he's there, I guess, from one respect, is that obviously the LR Blue Boys from the Worldwide Celebration, they need another Future Saga ally on the team in order for them to get their intro buff. But, like, one of the other builds of the team, the one that was the second place one, has the Tech LR Vegito from the 5th anniversary, right, with his EZA. So, if I was going to throw a Future Saga character on the team to give them their intro buff, it would probably be that Tech Vegito and not Zamasu, who, despite the fact that Zamasu is very, very good, you obviously remember that his domain, like, nerfs superclass allies, and the whole of the rest of the team is a superclass team. So, certainly a very strange one. But, I mean, I could see the team working somewhat. Like, I mean, this is a decent rotation. The 8-year duo, like, this team, like, if it is indeed real, which, again, press X for doubt, which I'm sure will be in the thumbnail. Like, against Zamasu, some of these units really do fall down. Like, the 8 years, of course, even being physical. Like, on turn 1, they're not going to be tanking a super particularly well. But, like, they can still be relatively decent. Even in this Omega event, right, where he has the STR AoE phase, you know, you can get up to the point of them maybe having their standby at that point or something, because, you know, you want them to build up as much defense as possible by getting as many supers, and then they'll be able to defend relatively well against the AoEs in the int phase. So the STR phase is kind of the one you want to worry about, but they certainly can get through that phase with the right RNG, depending on how many attacks are in, like, which slot and everything. But this team against Zamasu definitely struggles a little bit with them being in the rotation. Of course, Omega has his issues as well, right? Like, not being able to dodge in the first phase is kind of awkward. Like, the AGL Blue Boys make a really good slot 1 unit down. Friend Super Saiyan 3 Goku at 12 mil on this rotation is pretty spicy. But yeah, them not being able to dodge, obviously kind of awkward. But I mean, they tanked that super relatively well from the Omega there. So I guess we'll do this. I mean, Zamasu is in a decent spot, I guess, at least, right? He's got a decent amount of key. We can grab these for you. We can get the 18 key super with him. Shame that he was in slot 7, but then I suppose, as we've kind of already alluded to, he's the odd man out on the team, right? Like, it's kind of weird that he's here. But, I mean, you could get some interesting sort of shenanigans, I guess. Like, he's the only unit on the team that has a domain. So you could go ahead and use his domain at some point. Although, as we've already said, you are then nerfing, like, the superclass allies. So I don't know if that's necessarily the best idea, but it does give you then the infinite Zamasu, the, like, invincible slot 1 tank, which can be very, very good against the int Omega stage. So, I mean, I can kind of see the vision, but it just seems very odd to me throwing Zamasu on this team. Because obviously no one else on the team has big bad bosses. At least the Blue Boys have the... actually, do they have Dismal Future? I was going to say, do they have some of the future links? They do not. They do have Godly Power, though, which I guess he does. And Legendary Power, of course. So that's interesting. But yeah, he does seem a little bit... Zamasu seems a little bit out of place on the team. But I suppose it is what it is. So we can grab these for you. Grab these, get a bit more. Well, we're basically on full HP. I mean, the team has, what, 650k HP. So that's not too bad. I mean, it's a team with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku as the leader and then a bunch of LRs. So you're pretty much off to a good start anyway, right? If you can build one of these category teams that are just the leader and then throw on loads of LRs, right? You're obviously, you know, they're going to be off to a decent start there as long as they have some good links together, because most of the LRs that you're going to be running on these kind of teams at the moment that are at least somewhat meta relevant are going to be able to hold their own at least somewhat, and then at least share a few links together, right, with these big superclass characters, a lot of characters sharing things like Super Saiyan, prepared for battle, all that kind of stuff, and then obviously Legendary Power. Having Goku and Gohan, having Piccolo and Gohan together as a rotation on the other turn is obviously something that's been very effective ever since they first came out. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely not a terrible team. I mean, don't get me wrong. We could still lose if we get bad RNG, but like we absolutely could beat this event with this team. I'm certainly not calling into question like whether this team can actually beat events or anything, because they definitely can. It's just I very much call into question that this is the most popular team build for the Super Saiyan 3 Goku team that's been being run on Global. Because as I said, I can't say I've seen anyone running this kind of team build or recommending throwing Fusion Zamasu onto just a random team of a bunch of superclass units. But you never know, we could be okay. A little bit worried about Gohan taking the AoE here, because obviously Gohan and Piccolo's guard has run out now. Yeah, 230k. Like if he eats the super... Well, actually, to be fair, if we just get supered on this turn now, we're probably just dead. Because Gohan won't negate a super, because I don't believe this guy has a Ki Blast super. And then, of course, Super Saiyan 3 Goku has very, very high raw defense after supering, but not enough to tank a type disadvantage super. Oh, sorry, type neutral super from this Omega. And then, of course, Gohan. I think he can't counter this one. But he tanks the normals fine. The friend Goku at 12 mil. I've said many times at this point, right? Like, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I think, is a super good unit. Hits really hard. He won't be... Oh, there's no super this turn. Perfect. All right, let's go. And, actually... Watch me, like, I said all this stuff about the team at the beginning. I'm going to end up winning, aren't I? Because we're going to get the Vegito Blue fusion here. So let's go ahead and fuse it to Vegito. And we can do I want to do the active skill here? Do I want to just put you in slot 1? What are these guys' defense here? 634k. Will they tank the AoE? The AoE's in slot 1. And then there's another one in slot 2. Maybe we just do the domain, not the domain, but you know what I mean. Do the standby with them here. Potentially the best idea because it's a pretty spicy turn. So we'll go ahead and do that. We get a pretty decent orb change here, so we can pick up these orbs with them. And then we can grab... I guess we just get these for you. And then we can give Zamasu this big chunk of int orbs. So, I mean, this turn kind of does play out pretty well. They're going to eat the super straight away. How much do they take from this? Because they have the guard and yeah, double digits. Perfect. Omega gets the heal. And then, yeah, we can save the active skill to kind of buff Vegito Blue for the final turn. So far, so good. I was saying about, like, you know, me saying all this about the team, but we're on a pretty good track to beat the event. And as I've already mentioned, right, like, I'm not saying this team can't win. It just seems like a very weird, like... team to me. And I guess to be fair, we're trying out the one that is like the number 1. It's the one that is number 3 for Super Class 1 is the one I have the most problem with. The one that has AGL and Tech Tapion and LR Tapion and Minosha. Like, what is it? Like, it's the number 3 ranked mission for what? People that are playing quest mode or the legendary Goku event or something? Because, yeah, you try taking LR Tapion and Minosha into Zamasu or Omega and, on this particular team build, right? I know there's certain teams you could put them on where using things like Ghost Usher abilities and stuff like that, you could potentially, you know, squeak by a victory, maybe with them having like a full dodge build and stuff, I don't know. But yeah, you're not very often, I would say, going to be seeing LR, Tapion, and Minosha and AGL. But the funniest thing, to be fair, that team build is just hilarious in general. I can't really say the funniest thing because it's got weirdness all over it, but the fact that the only units outside... You got 2 Tapions, right? Because one of them is the Tapion Hirudegarn, so I think they do have a different name. And then you got LR Tapion and Minosha. The other 3 units on the team are all named Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So none of them linked together. So I really, really want to see the team build that somebody came up with for this. But, you know. Now, I could use the giant form here. If we were going for the overall W. I think I will, just because... it does obviously help with the actual winning of the event. I might just cut the giant form bit out here though, because obviously it takes ages to go through the giant form. So I think I will actually just cut the giant form and we'll come back to when it ends. Okay, so we're out of the giant form. As you can see, we've done barely any damage to Omega because of course this is a type disadvantage boss. So yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab these. Now, we know, of course, because we've done the giant form, we can't get supered or AoE'd. So, of course, it would be completely pointless to use Goku's standby because we know... Oh, okay, that's a bit more than I thought. We're not going to be able to use Goku's standby because there won't be a super attack. So, of course, using the Dragon Fist standby when there isn't going to be a super is always a massive waste. And since we basically know that there isn't going to be one, then obviously it would be a huge waste to use it. So lost a lot of HP there, but we will get the... I think that does then give us the ability to use the active skill with Vegito Blue on the next turn. So that does work out pretty fine. Gohan here looking pretty strong. Additional 12 key for 10 mil. We love to see that. And then there's another one as well for 11.2. And then we still have Super Saiyan 3 Goku to go off in slot 3 as well. This is my one. So my one has 1 dupe. Is obviously full level 10 links. And he's still doing 10.5. So yeah, this Goku is very fun to use. I've very much been enjoying him since he came out. We did basically half of the Int Omega's HP with the Oh, now do I want to drop the... Oh, there's so many options for this turn. So we got the... we can go ahead and do this. Right, so we can get the Vegito Blue active skill, which gives him the guaranteed dodge for the turn. So we can go ahead and do this. Now, of course, I can go ahead and do this. So is there going to be a super on this turn? There is not. That's very awkward. So I guess then what we want to do is we will do this. Do I just drop the Spirit Bomb here? I mean, I could continue to save it. We can get a lot of orbs, so we can get a lot of extra defense here for these boys. But although it's been a while since I've used them, they don't need to be in slot 1, do they? No, good. Alright, so we'll do that. I am a little bit worried, of course, about the fact that now that we've put him into the standby, Goku is very much like dodge or die, right? And he's got to dodge all 3 of these AoEs. We know Vegito's going to be fine, and then you're going to be fine. Okay, good. Alright, come on, Goku. You got to come through for me. There's the worst feeling, though, is when you use the standby with Goku and the enemy isn't supering you. Like, someone mentioned it in a comment in one of the early videos, and we were saying about, like, obviously it'd be way too OP if that was the case. But could you imagine if he had a scouter, like, when you were able to use the active skill? So you could see if there was a super, and then you could use the, well, I say active skill, but use the standby ability to then go into the standby. Because otherwise, unfortunately, you get situations like this, where you use the standby and the enemy isn't super attacking you. And of course, that now means that the Goku on the other rotation can't use his standby either, because this Goku's now in his one, and you can't have 2 of the same ones active at the same time. Which is very annoying, because of course, like, Omega isn't super attacking, but he could very well be super attacking on the next turn, and probably is if he's not super attacking on this turn, to be honest. So that is a little bit disappointing, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, it'd be very interesting running this back with the Omega team, sorry, the Hirudegarn team, because the Superclass team, I say that as if it's, you know, they're not full Super and Extreme, but like the Goku team, like, you know, we've done pretty well at this point. The Hirudegarn team, I'm not so sure that we're going to have quite the same luck. I'm also a little bit worried about the AoEs on our boy Piccolo here. So I think what we want to do is we'll go ahead and use the active skill with you. That's going to take off a nice bit of HP from you. And then do I go infinite? What is the domain doing again? Yeah, it's recruited by 30%. Oh, that's going to make the AoEs do so much damage to Piccolo. So I feel like we can't really do that. Yeah, that'd be pretty brutal, I think. And he's probably going to super this turn as well. So I feel like we kind of have to do this. And just hope that between Gohan and Piccolo, they just kill Omega here. It'd be kind of funny if we did, like, fall at the final hurdle right here. But we are going to get the Dokkan attack with Gohan as well, actually. So we should be fine. Gohan should do a lot of damage here, especially if we do get the additionals as well. So let's hit the nodes here. There we go. Alright, so Gohan, I'm going to need you to bring this home here for me and kill Omega. Get a couple of additionals and whatnot. We did the active skill this turn, so obviously we've got the super effective and everything. I mean, we've got type advantage already anyway. But we should do some nice damage here with the Dokkan attack. Yeah, pretty good. So that additional 12 keys should be enough to finish off Omega. So there you go. I mean, the #1 ranked team for Dragon Fist Goku. I mean, you can beat the Omega event with it, which is, you know, one of the hardest events on Global. It's either this or the Zamasu one, mainly because of the AoEs. Obviously, that dismal, was it Divine Wrath and Mortal Will Trunks stage is obviously very, very hard as well. But yeah, there you go. I mean, we managed to beat it with that team, the #1 Super Saiyan 3 Goku team, apparently. I realized by using it, we've added another statistic into the rankings there of this being the most popular team for Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Well, yeah, interesting. Let me know what you guys think of this one. We'll jump straight back into this event with the #1 ranked Hirudegarn team. Okay, so here we are. This is the #1 ranked Hirudegarn team, apparently, on Global, according to... I guess it just means they're just going by I assume the number of clears of events with that specific team. I don't really know. But yeah, so I mean, LR Golden Frieza, that makes sense. It starts to get a bit dicey straight after that. Like Tech Janemba, yeah, he has guard. If you get the right orbs, he does have damage reduction and he raises defense when he supers. So he could still be okay. But bear in mind, we're going up against like Omega or Zamasu, if we're talking about the hardest events, int AoE characters. So that'll be interesting. And then, of course, Cooler and LR Cooler. I mean, these are units that certainly had their time in the sun, right? But I'm not sure about now. So we'll see how we get on. Bear in mind that the Goku team, you know, we did very, very well. This team, I'm not so sure, but, you know, I guess we'll see how it goes. So we're going to do this. We're going to want 2 rainbow orbs with Hirudegarn, if possible. Not Hirudegarn, Janemba. Although we need 4 type orbs to give our allies the support, which we're not going to be able to get. So that's good. So I guess we'll just have to do this. Yeah, that at least connects these orbs. Oh, look at that. A nice rainbow orb spawned in at the top. So Janemba with his 173k start of turn defense. We get the orbs here to give everybody else the little buff. Ideally, no super in slot 1. So Frieza, yep, there we go. Frieza can actually still get to super attack. Not like he's going to do a crazy amount, of course, here. Doesn't share a ton of links with Hirudegarn. For some reason, Golden Frieza units not having big bad bosses, despite them being the main feature and boss of an entire movie that the character comes from. But no big bad bosses for Frieza, just like Broly. So getting your own movie doesn't give you big bad bosses, apparently. So, but we get the additional supers. We are attack lowering as well, which is nice, because of course dodge is disabled. So Hirudegarn not being able to build up the earlier part of his passive here, because of course he does build up permanent buffs by dodging attacks, which of course we're not able to get currently, which ideally we would like to get as soon as possible. We get a nice double super from him. Still nice. Don't super Tech Janemba. Look at that, rocking just under the 3 mil attack stat there. One absolute beast. He gets a crit though, and a double super, which to be fair, on the double super turn, that gives him a double defense raise. We got all the orbs, so he does have damage reduction and guard. So he's able to tank okay there. Oh god, how do I want to do this? I guess we'll have to do this and then flow off the other Hirudegarn, because no one on this rotation really is going to be tanking attacks in slot 1 very well. Like Hirudegarn, of course, not being able to dodge means that he's not super ideal for slot 1. And of course, we want Janemba ideally in slot 2 or 3 for building up his permanent buff. But then, of course, in slot 3, he also doesn't get guard. So he ideally wants to be in slot 2. I'm really excited for their physical LR Janemba Easy A at some point, though, I will say. Like, that could obviously be very, very good. But STR LR Cooler, we really want to be getting additional 12 key supers here and not just like 4 additional normal attacks. Not just for the raising of his own defense, but the fact that he lowers the enemy's attack. So how much does this do? He only supered once. Yeah, 130k. Not ideal. At least we have big bad bosses active on the turn and everything. And then, of course, the STR TUR Cooler does have the ability to stack, can get additional supers and everything. So hopefully this will be a good rotation for him. We'll grab the STR orbs for you, and then I guess we'll just grab these in orbs for Hirudegarn. Hirudegarn post-super is obviously going to be fine here as well, so he's okay in slot 3. The early phases, or the early phase, I should say, the first phase, is going pretty well so far. We've got to be lucky in terms of like who's taking attacks. Like the fact there's no attack in the middle slot here, so Cooler can just ideally get a couple of supers off, get a couple of stacks. That'll be quite good for him. All of this attack lowering obviously is very nice because it means that the normal attacks realistically just not going to do much damage at all, which is good. And then yeah, Frieza will eat this. Now of course, as we get further into longer events, Golden Frieza's tanking becomes less good. So we're going to have to start not putting him in slot 1. And he's going to end up being like a 3rd slot floating unit on the team. But what is it with the STR coolers and just not giving me the luck with the additionals? Really want to be getting those additional supers, because it's hard. It's bad enough trying to use these units now as it is. But when they're not getting their additional supers to stack that defense, they're obviously not going to look as good overall as it is. So, alright, now can I get some build up for Janemba here? Ugh. I mean, I'd have to do this. Oh god, look at this rotation. This is not good, is it? I guess I have to do this then, really. Which means I could do this. I really don't want an 18 key super for Cooler, but I kind of have to get one. Well, do I? I kind of want the extra support for you, though. But yeah, I suppose we'll just do that. Get the extra bit of support. Because we're going to get super straight away. It's not a Key Blast super, so we can't negate it with Janemba. 90k. I mean, to be fair, that's not bad for Janemba, being as old as he is. But this is only the first phase. At least against the final phase, Janemba has type advantage. But I worry about how much damage he'll be taking from, like, the AoEs from the STR Omega here. But yeah, interesting. I mean, the funniest thing about these lists with the teams, at least the Goku ones were different. But like I said at the beginning, the only differences between the top 3 teams apparently for Hirudegarn is whether you were using Physical Metal Cooler, Tech Janemba, or STR Cooler, the TUR. Because all of the other teams have LR Janemba, LR Golden Frieza, and LR Cooler. And then obviously Hirudegarn. So 4 out of the 6 units are just the same for those teams, which is kind of funny. Alright, let's do this. That gives you the opportunity to get a dodge off here. What's your start of turn defense? 285. He's probably going to take some damage from this AoE, which is a bit awkward, but I mean, what can we do, right? We'll do this, and then at least Janemba, Hirudegarn gets his attack off first. Hopefully he can get some dodges here, buff his passive, as well as getting a few more stacks. Come on, you got to dodge this, right? My goat, there we go. Get these dodges in. Alright, Cooler. Oh, Cooler with the dodge. Let's go. Alright, at least Cooler will have gotten another super off by the time the next AoE comes out here at the end of the turn as well. So at least a little bit of extra defense here for him. If we could get that hidden potential additional as well, that'd be nice. Look at that. There we go. What a turn this has been. I feel like the teams are showing out now because the whole point of this video was to make fun of these supposedly top-ranked teams. But, I mean, the Goku team, you know, we got through pretty easily. But, yeah, these guys putting in the effort here, which is what we like to see. Not sure how it's going to go with the final phase, but, you know, especially when it comes to, unfortunately, as much as I love this unit, STR LR Cooler is not him anymore when it comes to especially events with AoE attacks. So we'll see how that pans out here. Yeah, see STR Cooler taking a decent bit of damage there from the AoE as well. So we ideally need to get him floated off. I guess we could use the Rage mode. Well, actually, no, the AoE, and there's one in slot 1. Yeah, that's kind of awkward. Do I want to just transform Hirudegarn? I probably will just transform Hirudegarn. Screw it. Let's do that. Transform Hirudegarn, so now he can go crazy. He only needs 1 key, so then we can do this. Get the buff for Janemba in slot 2, and then do this so we get the 12 key super with Cooler. Hopefully this first AoE doesn't do a lot of damage to him. I'm a bit scared, but oh wait, yeah, of course, STR Cooler. STR Omega is the similar archetype to Sin, right, where the AoE does less damage as it hits each enemy. So it's the Int Omega AoEs that we need to worry about for Cooler. But hopefully after he gets some supers off here in slot 3, it won't be as bad for tanking these normals. That's, of course, you know, hoping that he doesn't get supered. But hopefully it will be good here. Get the super off here with Janemba. Doesn't do a lot of damage, sadly, but, you know, he's a couple of years old at this point. We're fighting a type disadvantage boss. Him getting the double super in slot 2 is big, though, because he needs to attack 3 times in order to get his full buffs. And then there's the dodge as well. Look at that. You love to see that. Okay. Okay. Oof. 8. Oof. That's with guard. 80k from the normals. That's a bit of a yikes. Hopefully, we do get some additional supers here with Cooler. There we go. Because we need to build up that defense. We only just build up defense within the turn by getting the 12 key supers. So we need to get as many of those as possible. So I went for the 12 key super deliberately, so we at least got one. But we did get a couple of additionals, so hopefully now, because he's already supered, we should tank these normals relatively well, I want to say. Yeah, good. Double digit damage, you get the dodge, you get hit last. Still takes 60k though. Alright, so the AoEs at the end, which is actually pretty good, because we're able to get some stacks in that here now. Man, this orb placement is so awkward, because those are all the orbs that I need for Janemba. Although actually I can transform you. Oh, actually this does work out pretty well, because then you only need one key. You need 2, which we can get from that. And then you can get those and get your full buff and buff everybody else. Bit of same type key as well. Love to see that. Hirudegarn actually dodge. Yep, there we go. Get that nice buff here for the start of turn. 13.6. I mean, Hirudegarn's got a lot of support on this rotation. Right, we got the cooler and we got Janemba with all the orbs. So we actually don't really need to worry about the AoE because it's in slot 3. He's just going to be dead, right? Hirudegarn kills him here. Yeah, look at that. Well, we got to the last phase, so there is that. We can go ahead and do this. No, we can't. Do we have to be below a certain HP threshold for the rage mode? I guess we do. HP is 66% or more. Are you serious? Well, what's my HP on? This has got to put me to 66% or more, right? Yeah, there we go. So we go ahead and use the rage mode here, just to get a cheeky free turn, and of course, like the giant form for Piccolo, cancel out the any supers. Unfortunately though, Janemba doesn't have a crazy like get loads of extra key or anything like that in the rage mode, so no big attacks here from him. We didn't get the 18 key a single time, but I guess it is what it is. This could be something as well, of course, that like his condition for the rage mode can't change, but if he gets an easy A, they could make his rage mode like pretty crazy, which would be very fun to see. This Janemba has a lot going for him if he gets a good easy A, right? He's got a good link set, good defensive unit. Easy A for him could be very, very good. So certainly looking forward to that. Not sure when we would see something like that, of course, but definitely looking forward to it. I mean, I guess we're not super far. The AGL Gotenks that came out with the LR Super Saiyan 3, the LR Tech Gogeta, just got his easy A. Super Vegeta, who came out a little bit before Tech Gogeta and is kind of his counterpart, already has an easy A. So the Tech Gogeta one, in theory, can't be that far away. And from JP, he was that guy's Part 2 Celebration LR. So the easy A for LR Janemba can't be that far away, really, which is cool. Right, so now we can go ahead and grab these. We can grab these. And now with no AoEs and no super, this should be a pretty good turn. Hirudegarn could potentially do a lot of damage on this turn as well. So I said it before, but watch us actually just win with this team. Of course, you have to remember as well, when it comes to these things, if they are the highest ranked in terms of people just using these teams, you have to remember that outside of challenge runs for like videos from people like me and stuff like that, like a lot of people don't bother with doing no item runs and stuff. So even like some of the weirder versions of the teams that we saw, like the one with all the Tapions, like if you're using items and a support memory, like, and you get decent RNG, you could get through some of these tougher events with that team. I'm still not too sure about the full Tapion one versus the Zamasu stage, but obviously it doesn't specify like what stages people were running or anything like that. So it would be interesting to know that, but yeah, for now, we just see how we do against the Omega event. Both teams, to be fair, have actually done relatively well. Not the craziest, of course, like, you know, I'm not going to say this is one of the better teams to do the event with, but we've managed to make it this far, so I guess we take what we can get. And then Freezer at the end here, we know we can't get supered. He's lost a decent amount of his damage reduction by this point. If he does take damage from the normals, it's not going to matter because we heal with the Dokkan attack at the start of the next turn. And we will, I think, have the LR Cooler active skill ready to go on the next turn as well. The only problem is the AoEs on the next turn will probably just absolutely fodderize both the STR coolers, which there's not really much we can really do about that. As long maybe if one of the AoEs is the first attack in slot 1, because then that gets action broke by the active skill. I think it is actually. Oh, let's go. We've had some pretty good RNG, I have to say, on this run. So we go ahead and do the Supernova with Cooler. So that's going to get rid of the first AoE of the turn, which is nice. And then he's got, what, 525k defense. You're up to about 500k. I'm not sure how much the AoEs actually do, but the first one being cancelled out here is really, really good. So we can do this, get the full 24 key. You've got all the links and support. I think we're not going to transform him just for the extra support. So we're just going to do this and see what happens. Because first group attack, gone. Love to see that. And then Hirudegarn. We didn't get the dodge from the other attack, though, which is a bit unfortunate. Because that means he doesn't get the guaranteed additional here. We do get the hidden potential one. And then, of course, actually, wait, is it multiple turns? I can't remember. But here's another super from him anyway, so I'll take it. And then STR LR Cooler. Let's see. He's been capable of some big boy damage turns in the past. There's Hirudegarn dodging the super. Let's go. All right, 14 mil. And then we just need to see as many additional 12 keys as possible, because otherwise I'm not sure how we're tanking these attacks. But once he's done a certain number of attacks, he does get a guaranteed additional, though. So we do get at least one 12 key to raise his defense a little bit here. But, oh, let's go. Come on, Cooler. Bring it home. Give me the god turn. Just do all the additional supers. Let's go. I know you got it in you. Come on. One more. There's a normal. Another one. Okay. Well, it takes all them for double digits. I'll take that. And then the AoE. Okay. We're actually going to do this as well. Crazy. Because, yeah, now that you raise your defense even more, he's already supered for the turn. So we know we're not getting supered. Wow. Yeah, STR Cooler underestimated, I guess, the combo for this stage. Like, some of these units, I would just never bring them into this stage. But the fact that we're kind of, like, we're actually doing it, which is bizarre, to say the least, right? So we'll do this. We're not going to get a lot of key for you, unfortunately. But we also don't get the damage reduction for the Texture Ember, which is a bit awkward. Dodge. Oh, he didn't dodge. We're just dead. No, not after all that. After all of that, bro. Hirudegarn's selling. No. If he just dodged that, he would have killed Omega and we would have won with that team. Unbelievable. Omega actually taking out Hirudegarn with the cell. You hate to see it, but there you go. Those are the two supposedly top-ranked teams for Goku and Hirudegarn on Global. We did almost beat the event. I can't. If he hadn't sold in slot 1, we would have beat Omega with both those teams. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What is your favourite team build for the Super Saiyan 3 Goku or the Hirudegarn? Let us know down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.